I'm Shaquem Holloway, and I'm here with entertainment reporter Casey Phillips for our 4 p.m. update today. We're going to talk to Casey about Game of Thrones. But before we get into Game of Thrones, I want to tell you a couple quick news hits. The Hamilton County Sheriff's Office has lowered the minimum age required to be a correctional officer from 21 to 18. And also, the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office CPD Chattanooga officers are expressing their support and offering their condolences for everybody dealing with the Dallas shootings and everybody in Dallas, the entire Dallas Police Department. Now, Casey, we're going to jump into Game of Thrones. Okay. Unlike myself, you are not watching the Game of Thrones TV show at all, but you've read all the books. Mm-hmm. And just tell us a little bit why you made that decision, just not to watch it.
Not to watch the show. So I wrote a column about this that came out in yesterday's issue of Chattanooga Now, and I basically said that I think I'm not going to switch and watch the TV show until the books are done, which, as anybody who's been following the books knows, could potentially never happen because George R.R. Martin is pretty old and he's not in great shape. And the likelihood is that he's taken 25 years to write 6 books, and I think there are at least 2 more in the series, potentially more. I've heard about it being potentially extended, and that means that those books may never come out, but I started the series in literary form, and I intend to finish it that way because in my head, as anybody who's read any of these books that become other properties that make that transition to another medium, I have a very defined view in my head of what these characters look like, what these places look like, and I just want to preserve that. I've managed to do that with Lord of the Rings. I've read all of the books before the movies, and so I can kind of consider them 2 different properties, and I would just kind of like to do that with this as well. And so that means I'm facing incessant spoilers from people on social media, but I'm bound and determined to wait it out, even if it takes another 10 years, so I can finish the books before I watch the show.
So let's just say, if he does, pass away, mm-hmm. and the books don't finish, mm-hmm. will you then watch the show? Because obviously the creators of the show know how it ends, or a general idea of what Martin thinks of how he thinks it'll end. Would you watch it then?
It depends. If there is 0 chance whatsoever of it being finished by a ghostwriter, then maybe. But what happened with Robert Jordan's Wheel of Time series, which is 15 books long, that started in about the same time as Martin started in 1990, and it didn't finish until, I think, 2013. The last 3 books were written by another author, Brandon Sanderson, and they were amazing books. And so if there's the potential for another writer to pick it up and carry that torch on, potentially, I would still rather wait it out, read the books, and then I'd go back and watch the series. If there's no chance of that happening, then I guess I would bite the bullet.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you for being here with us today, Casey. Love talking Game of Thrones. Unfortunately, I can't talk TV show with you. I don't want to spoil anything. No. I've watched all 6 seasons. I haven't read the books. And I might read the books because, I've read a little bit of his writing, and he's a little detailed for me, but maybe. Again, thanks for being here with us, and come back, check us out at 11.